Question 1. Risk assessment and evaluation. An underwriter is assessing a homeowner's insurance application. The property is located in a coastal area prone to hurricanes. Which factor would most significantly impact the underwriting decision in this scenario? A. The applicant's credit score. B. The distance of the property from the coast. C. The homeowner's employment status. D. The type of furniture inside the house. Answer: B. The distance of the property from the coast. Explanation: the primary risk in this scenario is the property's exposure to hurricanes. The distance from the coast directly correlates with the level of risk from storm surges and high winds. Underwriters assess geographic risks to determine the likelihood and severity of natural disasters. Optional's credit score. While financial stability matters in underwriting, it is secondary to geographic risk for property insurance. Option C. Employment status. Employment is generally relevant for life or disability insurance underwriting, not property risk assessment. Option D. Furniture type. The type of furniture does not impact the structural risk of the property. Relevant guideline. Georgia Department of Insurance guidelines require underwriters to evaluate location-based risks, especially in high-risk areas. Question 2. Legal and regulatory framework. Which of the following actions by an underwriter could be considered a violation of Georgia's unfair trade practices in insurance regulations? A. Denying a policy based on the applicant's driving history. B. Charging different premiums based on the insured's age. C. Refusing to issue policy based on race or ethnicity. D. Offering discount for bundled home and auto policy. Answer: C. Refusing to issue a policy based on race or ethnicity. Explanation: Georgia law prohibits discrimination based on race, ethnicity, gender, and other protected characteristics. Refusing a policy on these grounds would be a direct violation of anti-discrimination laws under the Georgia Insurance Code. Optional's history. Risk-based underwriting decisions are allowed provided they are fair and consistent. Option B. Age. Age-based underwriting is permissible when actuarially justified. E.g. life insurance premiums. Option D. Bundle discount. This is a common and legal practice to incentivize customers. A relevant law. Georgia Unfair Trade Practices Act ensures that insurers follow ethical and non-discriminatory practices in underwriting decisions. Question 3. Scenario-based. Underwriting of life and health insurance. MS. Rachel Thompson, 42-year-old applicant, applies for an individual life insurance policy. During the underwriting process, it is discovered that she had significant health issue 2 years ago, which required hospitalization. She is now fully recovered and has had no recent medical concerns. As the underwriter, what is the most appropriate action based on this information? A. Decline the policy due to her medical history. B. Issue the policy with substandard premium rating. C. Require an additional medical exam before making decision. D. Approve the policy with no conditions since she has recovered. Answer: B. Issue the policy with a substandard premium rating. Explanation: MS. Thompson's medical history poses higher than average risk to the insurer. Although she has recovered, the underwriting process accounts for potential future risks, not just current health status. Issuing policy with substandard premium rating. Higher premium balances the risk for the insurer. Option decline. Declining without considering the full risk profile would be excessive. Option C. Additional exam. An additional medical exam could be helpful, but it is not necessary if existing medical records provide sufficient information. Option D. Approve without conditions. This would not account for the increased risk from her medical history. Relevant guideline. Georgia insurance underwriting standards require underwriters to balance past health conditions with actuarial data to determine appropriate policy terms. Question 4. Underwriting of property and casualty insurance. An underwriter is reviewing a commercial property insurance application for a factory. The factory is located in a region with a high risk of earthquakes. Which of the following is the best approach for the underwriter to manage this risk? A. Decline the application due to the high-risk location. B. Approve the policy but add a high earthquake deductible. C. Issue a standard policy with no changes to terms. D. Require the factory to purchase separate earthquake insurance. Answer: D. Require the factory to purchase separate earthquake insurance. Explanation: standard commercial property insurance policies do not cover earthquake damage. Therefore, underwriters typically require the insured to obtain a separate earthquake policy. Adding a high deductible or issuing a standard policy would leave the insurer exposed to significant risk. Option decline the application. declining may not be necessary if the risk can be mitigated through separate coverage. Option B, high deductible. While a higher deductible reduces risk, it doesn't provide sufficient earthquake-specific coverage. Option C, standard policy. Standard policy would leave the insurer vulnerable to losses. A relevant guideline. The Georgia Department of Insurance advises insurers to recommend appropriate coverage for natural disasters based on geographic risk. Question 5. Legal and regulatory framework. Under Georgia's Fair Claims Practices Act, which of the following would be considered an unfair claims settlement practice by an insurer? A. Denying a claim based on policy exclusions. B. Failing to acknowledge and respond to a claim within a reasonable time. C. Offering a settlement lower than the policy limits for a covered loss. D. Investigating a claim for potential fraud. Answer. B. Failing to acknowledge and respond to a claim within a reasonable time. Explanation. The Fair Claims Practices Act requires insurers to promptly acknowledge and process claims. Failing to do so is considered an unfair practice. Optionals or policy exclusions. Denying claims based on legitimate exclusions is legal and expected. Option C. Lower settlement. Insurers may offer settlements, but the amount must be justified. Option D. Investigating fraud. It is appropriate and necessary to investigate potential fraud. Relevant law. The Georgia Insurance Code mandates fair treatment in claims settlement and outlines prohibited practices under the Fair Claims Practices Act. Question 6. Scenario-based. Risk assessment and evaluation. Mr. David Williams applies for auto insurance. During the underwriting process, the insurer discovers that he has been involved in 3 at-fault accidents in the past 5 years. Additionally, his vehicle is a high-performance sports car with history of being involved in frequent claims. What action should the underwriter take in this case? A. Approve the policy but charge higher premium due to the risk. B. Decline the application due to his driving history. C. Offer standard premium but impose mileage limit. D. Approve the policy without any additional conditions. Answer A. Approve the policy but charge a higher premium due to the risk. Explanation. The applicant's driving history and vehicle type present a higher risk to the insurer. Underwriters typically manage such risks by charging a substandard premium. Declining the policy outright may not be necessary if the risk can be mitigated with higher premiums. Option B. Decline. This would be an extreme response, especially if the risk can be managed through pricing adjustments. Option C. Mileage limit. Mileage limits are uncommon and difficult to enforce. Option D. Approve without conditions. This would leave the insurer exposed to higher risks without compensation. Relevant guideline. Georgia underwriting regulations require risk-based premium adjustments based on driving history and vehicle type. Question 7. Advanced underwriting techniques. Which of the following advanced underwriting techniques involves the use of predictive analytics to assess risk and improve decision-making? A. Experience rating. B. Catastrophe modeling. C. Predictive modeling. D. Manual underwriting. Answer. C. Predictive modeling. Explanation. Predictive modeling uses historical data and statistical algorithms to predict future risk. This technique is widely used in modern underwriting to improve accuracy and efficiency. Option quote experience rating. This refers to adjusting premiums based on past claims experience, but it is not an advanced technique. Option B. Catastrophe modeling. This is a specialized tool for assessing natural disaster risks, but it is different from predictive modeling. Option D. Manual underwriting. This refers to traditional underwriting methods without advanced data analytics. Relevant guideline. Georgia insurance regulations encourage the adoption of technology to enhance risk assessment and underwriting processes. Question 8. Underwriting of life and health insurance. Which of the following risk factors would most likely lead to a substandard rating for a life insurance applicant? A. A family history of heart disease. B. Occupation as a school teacher. C. Ownership of a pet. D. Living in a rural area. Answer A. A family history of heart disease. Explanation. A family history of heart disease significantly increases an applicant's mortality risk. Life insurance underwriters use this information to classify applicants and adjust premiums accordingly. Option B. School teacher. This occupation poses no unusual risks. Option C. Pet ownership. Pet ownership is not a factor in life insurance underwriting. Option D. Rural living. Living in a rural area does not directly impact mortality risk unless combined with other factors. Relevant guideline. Georgia underwriting standards for life insurance require consideration of hereditary and lifestyle risk factors. Question 9. Property insurance underwriting. Which of the following would an underwriter consider when assessing homeowners insurance for a property? A. The applicant's employment history. B. The proximity of the property to a fire station. C. The applicant's marital status. D. The applicant's educational background. Answer: B. The proximity of the property to a fire station. Explanation: the proximity to a fire station directly impacts the risk of fire damage and influences the underwriting decision for homeowners insurance. Optional employment history. This is relevant for life or disability insurance, not homeowners insurance. Option C. Marital status. Marital status is generally relevant for property risk. Option D. Educational background. Educational background is not a factor in property insurance underwriting. Relevant guideline. Georgia insurance underwriting guidelines emphasize assessing physical risks to the property, such as fire safety and location. Question 10. Underwriting procedures and documentation. Which document is most critical for an underwriter to verify the accuracy of information provided in an insurance application? A. Medical examination report. B. Insurance policy form. C. Actuarial table. D. Reinsurance contract. Answer A. Medical examination report. Explanation: for life and health insurance underwriting, the medical examination report provides verified health information that underwriters use to assess risk. Option B. Insurance policy form. This outlines the terms of the policy but does not verify applicant information. Option C. Actuarial table. This helps calculate risk but does not verify individual data. Option D. Reinsurance contract. This is related to managing risk after the policy is issued. Relevant guideline. Georgia life and health insurance regulations require underwriters to review medical evidence when assessing risk. Question 11. Auto insurance. Georgia regulations. Which of the following is required by Georgia law to be included in an auto insurance policy? A. Collision coverage. B. Medical payments coverage. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage. D. Comprehensive coverage. Answer: C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage. Explanation: Georgia law requires insurers to offer uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, while collision and comprehensive coverage are optional. This specific coverage must be included unless the policyholder rejects it in writing. Question 12. Scenario-based risk management. Scenario: Georgia homeowner applies for homeowners insurance policy. During the underwriting process, it is discovered that the home has an outdated electrical system and is located in flood zone. What is the best action for the underwriter to take? A. Approve the policy with standard premium. B. Decline the application due to the flood risk. C. Require the applicant to upgrade the electrical system and obtain flood insurance. D. Approve the policy but exclude coverage for electrical fires. Answer: C. Require the applicant to upgrade the electrical system and obtain flood insurance. Explanation: the outdated electrical system presents a fire risk and the flood zone requires additional flood insurance. Underwriters manage risk by requiring upgrades or additional coverage. Question 13. Georgia Claims Settlement Practices. According to Georgia's Unfair Claims Settlement Practices Act, which of the following is prohibited? A. Settling claims for less than the policy limits. B. Denying a claim based on fraud. C. Failing to investigate a claim in a timely manner. D. Offering a lower settlement to negotiate. Answer: C. Failing to investigate a claim in a timely manner. Explanation: under Georgia's Unfair Claims Settlement Practices Act, insurers must promptly investigate claims. Failure to do so is considered unfair and illegal. Question 14. Commercial auto insurance. Which of the following vehicles would be covered under a commercial auto policy? A. A personal car used occasionally for business. B. A taxi used for ride-sharing services. C. A delivery truck owned by a business. D. A rented moving truck used by a homeowner. Answer: C. A delivery truck owned by a business. Explanation: commercial auto policies cover vehicles owned by businesses and used for business purposes such as delivery trucks. Question 15 scenario-based. Workers' compensation scenario. Construction worker in Georgia falls from ladder and suffers injuries that require 6 months of rehabilitation. The employer has valid workers' compensation policy. What benefits is the worker entitled to under Georgia law? A. Only medical expenses. B. Medical expenses and lost wages. C. Lost wages but no medical expenses. D. Lump sum payment. Answer B. Medical expenses and lost wages. Explanation: Georgia's Workers' Compensation Act provides medical benefits and wage replacement for injured employees. The worker is entitled to both under this policy. Question 16. Risk assessment. Homeowners insurance. An underwriter is evaluating homeowners insurance application for house located in high crime neighborhood. Which of the following factors would most impact the decision to approve the policy? A. The applicant's employment status. B. The presence of home security system. C. The home's proximity to fire station. D. The applicant's credit score. Answer B. The presence of a home security system. Explanation: a high crime neighborhood increases the risk of theft and vandalism. The presence of a home security system can mitigate this risk and impact the underwriter's decision. Question 17. Legal and regulatory framework. Georgia Insurance Code. In Georgia, insurers are required to provide policyholders with minimum notice period before cancelling policy due to non-payment of premiums. What is the minimum notice period? A. 10 days. B. 15 days. C. 30 days. D. 45 days. Answer A. 10 days. Explanation: under the Georgia Insurance Code, insurers must provide a 10-day written notice before cancelling a policy for non-payment of premiums. Question 18 scenario-based. Life insurance underwriting. MS Rodriguez, 35-year-old applicant, applies for $500,000 term life insurance policy. During the underwriting process, the insurer discovers that she recently recovered from cancer and has family history of heart disease. What is the most likely action the underwriter will take? A. Approve the policy at the standard rate. B. Approve the policy with higher premium. C. Decline the application due to the medical history. D. Request an additional medical exam before making decision. Answer B. Approve the policy with a higher premium. Explanation: underwriters will consider the applicant's medical history when determining the premium. Higher health risks often result in higher premiums, but the policy may still be approved. Question 19. Auto insurance. Driver's history. Which of the following driver characteristics is least likely to impact the underwriting decision for an auto insurance policy in Georgia? A. Age of the driver. B. Gender of the driver. C. Driving history and accidents. D. Vehicle usage. Answer B. Gender of the driver. Explanation: while age, driving history, and vehicle usage are critical underwriting factors, gender is considered discriminatory in Georgia and cannot be used to set rates. Question 20. Reinsurance. Advanced underwriting. Which of the following is primary purpose of reinsurance in underwriting? A. To lower the premium costs for policyholders. B. To increase the claims payout amount. C. To reduce the risk exposure of the insurer. D. To eliminate underwriting guidelines. Answer C. To reduce the risk exposure of the insurer. Explanation: reinsurance allows insurers to share risk with other insurers, thus reducing their exposure to large claims and improving financial stability. Question 21. Property insurance underwriting. When underwriting a commercial property policy, which of the following would be the most important factor in determining the premium? A. The owner's credit score. B. The building's age and construction type. C. The proximity to hospital. D. The business's profit margins. Answer B. The building's age and construction type. Explanation: the age and construction type of building are critical factors in determining the likelihood of damage and the associated risks, which directly impact the premium. Question 22 scenario-based. Flood insurance. Mr. Green owns home in Georgia that is located in designated flood zone. He applies for homeowners insurance but does not request flood insurance. What should the underwriter do in this case? A. Approve the policy without flood coverage. B. Decline the application. C. Offer separate flood insurance policy through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. D. Require the applicant to purchase private flood insurance. Answer C. Offer separate flood insurance policy through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. Explanation: homes in designated flood zones require flood insurance, which is typically offered through the NFIP. The underwriter should inform the applicant of this requirement. Question 23. Underwriting guidelines. Health insurance. In health insurance underwriting, which of the following is considered pre-existing condition under Georgia law? A. Minor cold or flu. B. Chronic illness diagnosed before the policy's start date. C. Hereditary trait with no symptoms. D. An injury sustained during the policy term. Answer B. A chronic illness diagnosed before the policy's start date. Explanation. A pre-existing condition is any chronic or diagnosed illness that existed before the start of the policy which may impact underwriting decisions. Question 24. Advanced techniques. Predictive modeling. Which of the following best describes the use of predictive modeling in underwriting? Using past claims to determine future risks. B. Automating the underwriting process with AI. C. Predicting weather patterns to adjust premiums. D. Estimating future profit margins for insurers. Answer A. Using past claims to determine future risks. Explanation. Predictive modeling involves analyzing historical claims data to predict future risk patterns, helping insurers make more accurate underwriting decisions. Question 25. Scenario-based. Auto insurance underwriting. John applies for an auto insurance policy in Georgia. During the underwriting process, the insurer discovers that he has had 2 at-fault accidents and received Dewey conviction in the past year. What is the most likely action the underwriter will take? A. Approve the policy at standard rate. B. Decline the application due to high risk. C. Approve the policy with surcharge. D. Offer coverage through high-risk insurance pool. Answer D. Offer coverage through a high-risk insurance pool. Explanation. In Georgia, individuals with high-risk driving records, such as multiple accidents and Dewey, are often placed in a high-risk insurance pool, ensuring they can obtain coverage despite their risk profile. Question 26. Property insurance. Valuation methods. Which of the following valuation methods is most commonly used for determining the insured value of building under commercial property insurance policy? A. Actual cash value at CV. B. Replacement cost value RCV. C. Market value. D. Salvage value. Answer B. Replacement cost value RCV. Explanation. Most commercial property policies use replacement cost value RCV to determine the insured value of a building, which is the cost to repair or replace the property without depreciation. Question 27. Georgia insurance regulations. Notice of renewal. In Georgia, how many days' notice must an insurer provide to policyholder if they intend not to renew personal auto insurance policy? A. 10 days. B. 20 days. C. 30 days. D. 45 days. Answer C. 30 days. Explanation. Georgia law requires that insurers provide 30 days notice before non-renewing a personal auto insurance policy. Question 28. Scenario-based. Life insurance underwriting. Scenario. Sarah applies for whole life insurance policy in Georgia. During the underwriting process, the insurer learns that she has pre-existing heart condition but regularly takes medication to manage it. What is the most likely action the underwriter will take? A. Approve the policy at standard rate. B. Decline the application due to high health risk. C. Approve the policy with higher premium. D. Request waiver of liability for heart-related claims. Answer C. Approve the policy with a higher premium. Explanation. Underwriters typically adjust the premium for applicants with pre-existing conditions to account for the higher health risk. Question 29. Reinsurance. Types of agreements. Which of the following is type of reinsurance agreement where the reinsurer agrees to cover all or specific portion of loss above certain threshold? A. Treaty reinsurance. B. Facultative reinsurance. C. Excessive loss reinsurance. D. Quota share reinsurance. Answer C. Excessive loss reinsurance. Explanation. In excessive loss reinsurance, the reinsurer covers losses above a certain threshold, protecting the insurer from catastrophic losses. Question 30. Ethics in underwriting. An underwriter in Georgia denies a policy application based on the applicant's race. This action would be considered a violation of which of the following laws? A. The Fair Credit Reporting Act. B. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act. C. The Civil Rights Act. D. The Georgia Insurance Code. Answer C. The Civil Rights Act. Explanation. The Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin in insurance underwriting and other services.